Jeffrey and Dylan fight to stay in the game. Now on Big Brother Cheesecake 5 All Stars. Hello, I'm Andrew Shevsik Moonves. Welcome to Big Brother Cheesecake 5 All Stars. It's day 8 inside the Big Brother Cheesecake house, and this week, Curtis is the head of household. He nominated Jeffrey and Rhonda for eviction, but Rai won the Golden Power Veto in the Big Brother Total Recall Power Veto competition and chose to use it to save Rhonda, forcing Curtis to name Dylan as the replacement nominee, which means tomorrow either Jeffrey or Dylan will be the first All-Star evicted from the Big Brother Cheesecake 5 house, but will go to Redemple Temple where they will fight for a second chance in the game. Who will it be? You'll find out tomorrow. And what will their pleas be? We'll find out shortly. But first, yesterday I talked about the house guests were making fun of the camera. I don't really understand, well, first, I will say that Big Brother Cheesecake has always been a sort of homegrown, homemade project for me. I started it before I even knew about orgs in general, so it was never meant to be part of, the whole group of orgs. It was meant as sort of like a fun hobby for me. I never intended to get money or fame or anything like that from it. I just wanted to do it because it was fun. And so because of that, Big Brother Cheesecake is imperfectly perfect, in that what makes it perfect is how crappy the quality is, how crappy the musical cues are, even though I like the musical cues, I think they're good, and how almost carnival and homemade the competitions are for the most part. Not to say some competitions aren't complicated, but the majority of them are on the more simple side. And as for the camera, the majority of the episodes are just me talking. What does it need to be HD for? I mean, it's just me. Okay, background players. So Lindsay said that, first of all, Lindsay was pissed that Curtis nominated two people on her team, Jeffrey and Rhonda, and then the replacement nominee, Dylan, was also on her team. She's like, why do you hate me? But she will be calling out background players in the next episode of Reality Realness. And I see you people too, those of you that are in the background. I see you. Next up, Rat Chat. There was some discussion over what I said in yesterday's episode, how one of the house guests in one of the seasons says there was a rat. The majority of the house guests have the correct season, but they just don't know who the rat is. And it's also a matter of, and this is just one person's opinion, who knows if there's actually a rat or not. Last but not least, before we get to the pleas, I survived yet another tribal council in the Survivor org. I'm playing Ecstasy, or Extremely Time-Consuming Survivor 12. I've made the top 9 out of 24, which is very exciting because as a player, I typically do terribly in orgs, and I'm actually doing really well. But because of that, once again, I know this is a broken record, me saying this, I am obviously behind on my DRs. But I did catch up quite a bit today, and between Jeffrey and Dylan, personally, I think it's very close. Everybody seems to be all over the place. There's pros and cons to keeping each of them, which are different pros and cons for each person. And I think it's very likely this could be a 7-6 or an 8-5 or a 9-4 vote. And what's funny is in Big Brother Cheesecake, Season 1, Renmal was evicted over Adam, 9-4. Season 2, Week 1, Charlene was evicted 7-6 over Raven. Season 3, Princess was evicted 7-6 over Amy. And Season 4, Susie was evicted 9-4 over Megan. So all 4 seasons have been relatively close. Whereas on the show, Big Brother Canada and US, the vast majority of week 1 votes are unanimous or close to. So that's good. I mean, that's a sign that everybody who's played Big Brother Cheesecake has been playing and is not afraid to vote the way they want. And I would be shocked if this vote tomorrow is unanimous or close to unanimous. I'd be surprised. If it is, people have been lying to me in the diary room, because I don't think that's the direction it's headed. Okay, now let's get to the pleas. So I am so happy that Jeffrey and Dylan, who, by the way, your house guests will be voting to evict one of the two of you today. And speaking of which, house guests, voting is now open to evict Jeffrey or Dylan from the Big Brother Cheesecake house. A reminder, you all know this, but as always, a reminder, you must cast your vote in the format I vote to evict name, or your vote is reversed. Once again, you must cast your vote in the format I vote to evict name, or your vote is reversed. Don't be a Donnie. We all know what happened to Donnie in season 2. Yeah. So, voting is open and it closes at 10 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time. And I feel like there was something else I had to say about the vote. As always, you're voting privately in your private chat with myself in the diary room. Okay, let's get to the pleas. Jeffrey, you're up first. Hey guys, it's me, Jeffrey. Just got off my surfboard. Here's my plea to you all. I'm in it for the game, and I want to keep playing. I will likely continue to be targeted, but I want to stay beyond the first week. Let me have the All-Stars experience I hope for and get to play more game with you all. Okay, thank you. Dylan, you're up next. Here's my plea. I may not be a target now, but I will be in the future. Send the winner home in his season. He won a lot and will likely take y'all down if he stays. I want to be here and haven't gotten a chance to play yet because of school. Okay. Both pleas, short, brief, to the point. Yeah, I respect that. No, I'm so happy. Season 3 and 4 had a habit of, like, the Bible passages were thing. And we had a competition, I think it was in season 4. I can't remember. I think it was in 4, where you had to finish the lyric of a song. So it would be like, if it was Katy Perry, Baby You're A, and the answer was Firework, people would then put the entire rest of the song. And I'm just like, you don't have to cut and paste all the lyrics. I'm just looking for the one word at the end of that line. Anywho, I think Nick won that, if I recall it correctly. Yeah. Okay. Now, last but not least, it's time to get to the rules to the next Head of Household competition. Curtis is outgoing Head of Household. You will not be eligible to compete. Free from the threat of eviction, the Head of Household wins the perks of his or her private HOH bedroom bathroom, a fruit basket with Arby's, and the responsibility of nominating 2 of his or her fellow house guests for eviction. You will not get a letter from home in your HOH room because you're doing this for the second time, so clearly you hate your family if you signed up for this again. Because really, now that I've played in an org, the real losers in orgs are the friends and family around you. I went to my mother's on Saturday. I literally ignored the woman the whole day. She's like, I'm like, no, talking to Jake. No, gotta get Jake on my side. Jake. Oh, speaking of which, maybe I should. Should we do it today? No, I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, we'll talk about Jake tomorrow. But I lost my train of thought. Yeah, so I was at my mother's and I'm literally just like on my phone. She's like, "Are you gonna even look at me?" I'm like, "I need to make sure I'm good. I need to make sure I'm safe." And yeah, so it's true. I mean, I played with a guy on my previous one who said he had marital problems because of it, and I totally believe it. Anyway, so yeah, you don't get a letter from home in your fruit basket. Maybe I'll write you a letter. That'll be fun. Ooh. Yeah, maybe I should start doing that. Okay. Yeah, that'll be something new. All right. And there will be a special guest later in the season that I'm very excited about. I will not reveal who, but it's somebody who has not yet been on the show, but he is, he kind of looks like David Schwimmer with Down syndrome. Yeah, that's a clue. And that's not offensive. That is a direct quote from one of his friends. Okay, let's get to... Where the hell was I? Oh, the Head of Household competition. The head of household competition is called Big Brother. Who's messaging me? At Becky. Stop trying to get in my show at 1:52 in the morning. And what does Nicole want? Side note, proud of you getting this far in your Survivor org. Thank you. This is my 7th attempt. I'm getting off track. Whatever. So, Backyard Big Brother is not technically an org. It's an LRG because it's a live reality game. But it's close enough. So, if you count Backyard Big Brother and Backyard Mole, then Phil's Facebook Survivor, Dylan had a DH1 mini. What was the 5th one I did? Oh, Noah was a contestant on Backyard Big Brother. He did a Big Brother on Zoom. That's 5. And Padlock, which is a Big Brother org, is 6. And now Extremely Time Consuming Survivor 12. The previous 6 orgs I did horrendously in. I mean, a balloon would go out week 1, and then I was the next one out. The mole, I was the first one out. Damn you, Pez. The Padlock, I was the second one out. Phil's Facebook Survivor, I was out on the second tribal. Then I came back into the game from the edge, and I was out on the second tribal again. Dylan's, I think I was the third out. And Noah's was the best up until now, where I was the first juror, which Brazil managed to get runner-up. Well done. But yeah, so in this point, I'm like 9th out of 24, which is just... like, I'm in the top 9 out of 24. I could still advance further. Okay, so stop distracting me, people. Oh, and then Nicole says, Joanne is my queen. Do not judge. Who can judge that? Yeah. Okay. Let's get to the head of household competition. It is called Big Brother Entree Survey. Here's how it works. This is the first of 3 head of household Q&A competitions based on the entree surveys you filled out prior to the start of the season. I have tabulated the results, and I have formulated 10 questions about the surveys. They are true or false questions. You will submit your answers privately. The questions will go up after the video airs. You will submit your answers privately by 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will pull questions at random, and if you get a question wrong, you are eliminated. If you get a question right, you stay in the game. The last player left standing will be the new head of household. I think all of you have played in this competition before. It's very simple rules. It was in every season. It's a Big Brother Classic. In season 1, it was won by Angela. In season 2, it was won by Dan. In season 3, it was won by Julian. Yes. And in season 4, it was won by Nick. So actually, none of the 16 people playing in this season have won this competition. So, interesting. Okay, that's that simple. With that said, who will be the first house guest evicted from the Big Brother Cheesecake 5 house? Jeffrey or Dylan? Find out tomorrow. But they will head to Redemple Temple with a chance to return into the game. And we will crown a new head of household. I'm Andrew Shevsik Moonves. Take care, and remember to always be kind and rewind. Good night.